Hey, everybody. Welcome in the building. Happy, what is today? Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, people. Happy Wednesday. Welcome in the building. Use Wednesday as trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called Family Matters. Family Matters. You know, I don't understand what these parents don't get that you cannot leave the kids in a hot car. What's confusing about that? I don't understand it, but the amount of people that continue to do it is outrageous. So the cops had to bust the window out on this car in Georgia. Why? Because the man they was with, and when I last read, I don't think they confirmed whether it was the father or not. The man they was with left them in a hot car, and I think they said the kids was in the car for over 40 minutes. Thank God the kids are alive. But we're going to talk about it. Then we got another plane situation. It's something about these people being enclosed on that plane that is driving them bananas. The amount of people, usually I just go ahead and wait. I let everybody go ahead and rush out. Like when the plane lands and they say you can unbuckle them seatbelts, the people lose their natural mind, getting up, trying to get their suitcases from overhead so they could get off that plane. I just sit back and chill because I can't do chaos. It's just stupid to me. And if you need to get off that bad, you probably should have bought yourself a first class ticket and then you would be the first one off. But the people be losing their mind. One time I was on a plane and there were some people that needed to get a connecting flight. The flight attendant literally got on the mic and was like, please, there's some people that need to go on connecting flights. Can y'all please just chill and wait and let them people off? You know that flight attendant had to say it like 3-4 times. I'm like, these people got a connecting flight. Can you give them a break and let them get off? Whoever's waiting for you, whatever ride, wherever you're about to go, you're going to make it. But this particular woman seemed to just skip the line, and the people, they got into it with her. It was crazy. But we're going to talk about it. Then we're going to talk about the Diddy trial aftermath, which I'm not shocked about this aftermath. I don't care which way this verdict would have went. It was going to be some aftermath. And you got people just waking up out the woodworks. And Diddy right now is the lowest hanging fruit. And something about his finances is driving the people crazy. Guess maybe a lot of people are having some hard economic times. It's driving them crazy. And they want a piece of his pie. They want some of his money. So now you got, formerly known as Superhead, if you come up from my time. She was a video vixen. She wrote the book, Confessions of a Superhead. Talked about all the people that she slayed down. This industry and the people just all sleeping with each other is nothing new. Like I said, Diddy was one of those friends that put 20 on 10. You always got a friend in the group that just go too far. Like we all into partying. And we all, we stay a little late at the party. And Diddy said, instead of bringing 2 bottles, let's bring 3 bottles. And you say, all right. Next thing you know, he bringing a whole case. He doing the most. He added more stuff to it. And you like, yo, dude, you just taking this to a whole nother level. Well, she goes by a different name now. But Superhead was on Piers Morgan talking about after she watched the trial and heard the trial, she believed more happened to her, but she's not sure what the more is. And I'm just paraphrasing. And I said to myself, why didn't you just sit home with that? Some things are better left unsaid. Why didn't you just stay home with all that? You're doing too much. And then this other person comes out and he said, now we're going to have to be careful how we move. And I told you that. You got a girlfriend, you live in Jersey, she live in Florida. Tell her get her own ticket and you meet her at the airport and you pick her up. Don't even send no Uber for her. Go there and pick her up. Matter of fact, why don't you just reconsider just dating somebody within your own state, because this thing is about to get nasty. It's about to get nasty. Do you know how many of these NFL players, these NBA players, these entertainment people, they get up in somebody's DM and talk about, I'll fly you out to my house? And it's all consenting adults doing consenting stuff. But the minute you fly Diva out and Diva felt you did her dirty, I could change it all up, say you ST'd me, and now you getting caught up in a case. And I'm going to show the DMs where you paid for my plane ticket. You told me to come through. I told you ain't have no money. You said, don't worry, I'll give you $6,000. Then I got to your house and I thought we was just going to watch Netflix and chill. And next thing you know, we did some things and now I'm claiming something else. Good luck to your man and how y'all used to move in these streets. Because trust me, you're going to have to move differently if you want to stay on the free side of the world. Or if you don't mind doing some time, sitting up there in somebody's detention center, then keep moving the way you're moving. What's that one that got that girl pregnant, Kim Kardashian's, no, not Khloe Kardashian's baby daddy? You see them, they all got these kids by some of these Instagram models. You worrying about them asking you for child support. Now they about to up the ante. They got laws that they going to connect. This Elizabeth is sitting in on Piers Morgan talking about, you know, once I saw the Diddy trial, I think something different happened to me. I don't remember. Why are you on somebody's show talking about you don't remember? But that's what they doing in these streets now. Everybody talking. You got the escorts talking, and you want to know why the escorts are talking? I was thinking about it the other night. I said, you know why they talking? Because the way it's the Southern District of New York's fault. Because the way they define as trafficking, it could be anybody. All of us could have at one point in time in our life been as trafficking. Yes, we could have, according to their definition. So that's why that one escort that is now suing Cassie and Diddy said he was trafficking. Because according to the Southern District of New York definition, listen, we all probably have been. Think about some of the things you did with your ex-boyfriend or your ex-girlfriend. Maybe bought you some dinner, took you out for your birthday. Maybe they flew you here, there, or somewhere. And y'all knew when y'all got there, y'all was going to do what y'all do. Listen, their definition, by their definition, we all got a case. We all got a case. And that's why this man is suing. And he's his own lawyer. He said, no, nobody want to take my case. I'm going to file it myself. This is a mess. But this is the Diddy trial aftermath. It's a tsunami. And I told y'all it was coming. Now listen, people, we trying to do 60 minutes, so I'm going to shut my mouth. Y'all know what I need in the chat because I'm going to bring the people on in the building. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Wednesday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title's called Family Matters. We got the heart car rescue. We got the plane fight chaos. And we got the Diddy trial aftermath. Let me bring the people on in the building. Hey, Wayne. Hey, Felicia. Hey, Julius. Hey, Katrina.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, everybody. Listen.
Hey, Chat.
Hey. Choo, choo, choo. Listen, people, hit that like button. The Diva trying to hit 50K for the month of July. We still got time, okay? I'm at 41K. We need to hit 50. Hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. You coming through, you looking in the bushes, support the Diva and subscribe. Let me go ahead. We might as well
And
get into
also
this.
share the video, y'all. Share the video and use your engagement button on your right side at the bottom. Please. Thank you.
Thank you, Katrina. That's my mod on the panel in the building telling y'all the support, okay? Let's go ahead into this Diddy thing real quick. We might as well go ahead and do this. It's a lot of moving parts with this Diddy situation. Let me do this one here. Then I gotta cue back up another video after I get this in. So Rockstar, Diddy's case gonna ruin stars flying out hookups. Listen, you could call it what you want, but the regular everyday people be doing hookups. These celebrities do hookups on a regular basis. So he mad. He's saying it's about to stop our game. So Diddy's fate after being guilty of prostitution will be sealed come October with his sentencing. And loving hip hop cast member Rockstar wants him to be set free. Let Puff get his rocks off, he said. And I think, well, let's take a listen.
Internet's buzzing. Yeah. I mean, about Diddy, the case and everything. What's your take on the verdict? Do you think that the jury was in the right about it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see the crime. And that's my, if being freaky is not really a crime. So now it was some freaky stuff going. It was getting freaky deaky around there, but wasn't no crime. I don't see the crime. I mean, if that's the case, everybody in Hollywood going to jail this week because this the freakiest place on planet Earth. But yeah, I don't see the crime. I think Puff got out. I think Puff got off because he was supposed to get off. So it's what it is.
I know. I mean, you worked with Cassie before. I mean, do you think that she's truly a victim in all this? A lot of people feel like Diddy didn't nearly get enough time, for what she went through. What do you think?
Now, in terms of his relationship with Cassie, that's personal. I love Cassie. That's my homegirl. And that's a relationship. They was in love for years, together for years. So it's hard to really gauge what it is, but a man should never put his hands on a woman. All that type of stuff is out. That's out. All that extra stuff is out. So if it comes down to an assault situation, something like that, that makes sense. But in terms of their relationship and what she was willing to do for her man and all that, I think that's a little. I really don't know. That's some girlfriend boyfriend shit.
So looking back at it, did you feel like anything was off when you were working with her? Like anything now that you're like on hindsight?
Honestly, she did seem a little depressed here and there. You know what I'm saying? She did see a little depressed a little bit. I always used to ask her, like, you good? She snapped back into being bubbly, but something going on. But I mean, for me, it's weird because I know Puff fam, then my family, Christian, that's like my kid. Kim Porter used to be part of my management team. Like, I know all of them. They're all family. And then Cass is fam too, and she's always been sweet and cool. So I don't know. It's weird. I just stay out of. I try to stay as far. I make the hits. If you need you need a hit record, they'll say you want to launch a technology company, something that got to do with. You know what I'm saying? We over there. But yeah.
So do you think that this changes anything for women in the industry, especially younger artists, right? I mean, this kind of changes a lot for the industry. You being in the industry as long as you've been in it.
Right. Does it change anything for women? Now, I mean, it's getting scarier for men, for me, because everything you do is you're now even, flying girls out. You got to be careful doing that. Because now that's human trafficking. And everything you could think of is all kind of, it's like, I met a girl, she was pretty, I flew her out, we went to Turks, now it's human trafficking. So it's like, you got to be extremely careful. And that's why I suggest staying in a relationship. That's the punchline, because everything else is for the birds. It's like, but then again, you're in a relationship, and then you have to freak off. I don't know what's going on no more.
No, but that's good advice.
Yeah,
like, so staying in a relationship when you're in the music industry.
A safe place.
Okay, he said A relationship should be your safe place, okay? TMZ Hip Hop linked up with Rockstar and got his reaction on the Diddy's verdict. The platinum producer's not excusing Diddy for the rough scuffles he had with Cassie and others, but as we know, the Bad Boy Mobile wasn't being prosecuted for DV. He does admit to being a bit biased, though. His close association with Diddy, Cassie, King Combs, and even the late Kim Porter. But he still doesn't want to see anyone behind bars. Rockstar produced a track for Cassie back in 2017, a year before she and Diddy split, and does recall her being depressed in the studio. But he says she eventually bounced back to form to her usual happy self. There's now heavy discussion that the music industry is a war zone for women, but Rockstar sees problem coming down on the male side. In the wake of Diddy's case, flying out potential bedmates has never been trickier. These days, Rockstar says artists are better off to have one woman in a relationship. Otherwise, they will be next up for the rap Rico. It's an interesting conversation. As we go around, I will pull up a little bit of this. Her name is Elizabeth Overson. Interview with Piers Morgan when I get a chance. But meantime, Wayne, what are your thoughts?
I don't. Which if you got to think if something happened. I mean, if you think long enough, you can drum up something in your mind. You can think those things that are not as though they are, and to me, it just sounds like now it's starting to be a big money grab for people to come out for money grab because they think Diddy got so much money. And I don't think they're out for millions. I think $100,000 to change some of them. I just think it's out for what they can get. It's a good time. It's a good time. The fruit is hanging low, and they trying to get what they can get. With this person right here, it's hey, I ain't mad at her. She may get some big sales on her book now. Again, 20 years later. That's a nice little come up if your book then got popular now. They say the Punisher's book.
What do you think about Rockstar saying, this whole Diddy trial is changing the atmosphere, and his advice is just stay in a relationship? What are your thoughts on that?
He's correct. Because now that that's out, that's going to be used in like the slightest. That's like a setup. Oh, you gonna fly me out? Oh, sure. You gonna take me to dinner? Oh, sure. We going Turks and Caicos, blah, 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 blah. A year later, I was sex trafficked. I was going across the line, and then I was hard. And now you done put the guy, he done put himself down in a situation that he has to defend himself. Even though it may not be true, he got to defend himself. And he possibly may say, look, here's a X number amount of dollars, and this will be done. And that's what some of them do sometimes. Rather than to go out in the public and all that, they can make a payment and just make it go away. But now that that's out, that's going to be the thing. Women are going to be trying that. That's it.
Felicia, your thoughts?
Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I got so many thoughts. I really don't know. And I do know this. This is going to be for all relationships. Same sex, same gender, opposite gender, but, different. It's going to be for everyone. It's going to be even for relationships that may not have a sexual component, but you might have flown your friend out and then they hooked up with one of your other friends and now they're holding you accountable, saying that you ex-trafficked them for a friend. So you know what? Keep your money, everybody. Just keep your money. And what did you say, Diva? Date people in your state.
Yeah.
Don't be crossing any interstate lines. Keep it simple. Split the dinner bill. When you ain't got to worry. You ain't got to worry because I know you already ain't paying. So, just split the bill. And and when he said, what's his name? Rockstar said, just have a relationship, have a lover, one steady lover, and just date the other people, and don't have any transactional things. No cell phone, no car note, no dinner bill, no hair, no nails, no airline ticket, no train ticket, no nothing. Because one thing I have learned being on these social media streets, people lie, and they lie a lot.
Ooh,
And if they can get $1 or $2, they don't give a damn about the truth. They don't care. They
and-
don't care. And these younger folks that they're listening to. So you have to have another leveled up conversation with your legally adult children on how to move and how to behave. Because Cassie and Jane Doe and Sean Combs now got everybody caught up in the legal system, and relationships are going to be more dangerous than ever when it comes to the finances. And you better believe it. They charge you with X trafficking. You're going to get handcuffed and put away, and you're going to get some kind of bail that may be ridiculous in amount or no bail at all. And it's terrible. I'm done.
Thank you. One of my subs said, or one of the people in the chat said, only person that ever really loves you is Mom Dukes. 48 said they done messed it up for all the hoes across the world. Oh my goodness. Callie, what's your thoughts?
Well, what's her name this week? Elizabeth Ovalstein. This is the third time she has changed this story.
Ain't it?
I'm of the mind now in 2025 that she's lying and none of this ever happened. Because the story keeps changing dramatically. And I'm starting to see a grift where you have these people that have been around celebrities at some point. Maybe they dated a celebrity, they worked in the industry, they had a hit one time or something. And they start to then make up these stories about celebrities to get famous. And I kind of feel like she was one of the first people to do that. And it really is making me question a lot of this information that she had in this book. And honestly, a few years ago, somebody told me that a lot of that stuff wasn't true. But who knows if they knew for sure or not. But now, this story has changed dramatically. First, she hooked up with him. He sent a car to pick her up. He was really sweet. He was really nice to her. All of this stuff. And then it went to, I felt like Irv Gotti made an arrangement for me to sleep with him, and I didn't know what was going on. Now I'm into, I don't remember, not that I recall, but something could have happened to me, and I just don't remember. Those are 3 different, very dramatically different accounts. So that tells me she sounds just like Vanna, saying that Diddy hung her over a balcony, which a lot of people said, is it even physically possible to hang someone over a balcony?
Right.
In real life. Even in the movies, they have 2-3 guys doing it. So I'm really thinking that this story is made up. And the reason why Diddy didn't sue her at the time, because she didn't say anything negative about him. She just said they hooked up. She did not, in the book, she just said he sent the car for me. He was really sweet. He was really nice. What man is going to sue an attractive woman over that? Whether if he slept with her. And Diddy is a substance user. He probably doesn't remember if he slept with her or not. So I'm of the mind now that she just made this whole story up. Now, as far as the producer saying that being in a relationship, Diddy and Cassie were in a relationship for 11 years. The problem is men not wanting to be monogamous. That is in my whole thing. That is what's creating all of these problems. Because supposedly that's what created a lot of the DV in their relationship, because she was like, if you're not going to be monogamous, I'm not going to be monogamous. Now he's mad and she's mad and everybody's fighting. So it's not just the relationship. What's causing the issue is that men don't want to be monogamous and women don't want to just walk away, especially empty-handedly, if they know you got a lot of money, when they realize you're not going to be monogamous or you just dump them all together. Now, granted, if Diddy would have married Cassie, she would have just gotten her divorce settlement and went away, and none of this would have ever happened. But because
but you know what? Let
only...
me just interject real quick. She would have never divorced him. She would have never divorced her. I think I'm sticking with Capricorn Clark said. Capricorn Clark said that when she asked Cassie, why doesn't she leave? Cassie said, Jay-Z is taken.
I don't think she ever did leave. I think that's the part of this whole situation that we have wrong. And even her husband kind of hinted at it a little bit. I think he dumped her. And I really do.
Whether he dumped her, whatever it may be, you know, I think so that even proves my point a little bit more. If he had to dump her, if he married her, she wasn't gonna go nowhere.
Oh no, he may have gotten sick of her and wanted to get rid of her. That was my point. And she would have just gotten whatever was in her prenup and went away. And we would have never heard about none of this. But because this was the only way for her to get money out of the relationship, this is what happened.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, but I'm really starting to feel like she's another version of Jaguar and what is it, that Whack 100 guy. There's a bunch of these people that have been like worked in the industry. They're around these people. So you think they're telling the truth because they know these people, but then their stories start to not match.
They putting 20 on 10.
Yeah.
They put 20. Listen, there's another person that everybody love. I'm not even going to mention the person's name. That's another one that I feel puts 20 on 10. Because the stories get more outlandish and more outrageous. First, they seen it firsthand. Then people told them they didn't. Executives told them this, that, and the other. I think you hit the nail on the head. They're around them. And because we know, like we've seen these people be around them, they come out with all these stories. And everybody's going to say, well, yeah, well, she was around them. He was around them. So I'm sure they know. But this one right here, this is tomfoolery. She is a beautiful girl, right? You know, because somebody put in the chat, she looks amazing. She's a beautiful girl, but unfortunately, the head. Listen, I'd rather have my head on straight than to have all that beauty.
And she's almost 50. She's older than me. She looks great.
She looks amazing. But she's always been pretty, and unfortunately, that's why she got passed around in the industry.
So she says.
I do believe let me tell you this. I do believe she was passed around. If you follow her, she was dating this chef, right? From one of the chef shows. And she had claimed that she was pregnant. Yeah, if you look that back up, and that was recent. And I didn't know about he followed him to New York. He's from Brooklyn. The chef is from Brooklyn. Because I did the story. She followed him to New York. She was stalking him and saying she was pregnant, and I don't even ever know, but he said she wasn't pregnant, but I don't know about her recently having no baby, so she must not have been pregnant.
Well, I believe it came out a while ago that she is diagnosed with, I think, borderline personality disorder. Don't quote me on this, but she has some sort of like real mental illness. And that sounds like borderline personality disorder.
Yeah, I pulled that out. I can't. Y'all have to go to his show to see this, y'all. I play a little bit of it. A little bit. Let's listen.
So it was fine. The last time I saw him, however, things had taken a bit of a turn. It was after Confessions of a Video Vixen, my first book had been published. And he was seething when he saw me Prince had a party at his house, and we were there, you know, of course, before Prince died. And
hold on one second. Didn't everybody go to this darn Prince party? At this Prince
party?
Is
this the same party where Diddy and Cassie got into a physical fight?
I feel like it is.
Oh my God.
I feel like it is. I'm like, who wasn't there?
He was scowling at me the whole night, and I found it amusing, but he was obviously very angry with me by that point in our relationship.
Why was he so angry with you?
Well, 4 months before Confessions was published in 2005, we got a call from Sean's attorney. My attorney did. And Sean's attorney wanted to see the book before the book came out. Confessions of a Video Vixen was an embargoed book, so no one could see it. No one would even get it until the publication date, which is June 5th of that year. And so my attorney told his attorney that he could not get the book and that they would have to wait until the book came out like everyone else. And if they saw a problem in the book, that they were free to.
My thing keeps spinning. That's the point for me to just stop playing it. So just go to Pierce Morgan and see it. It's just messy. It's just messy. And like you said, she's just changing her story. The next time she get on somebody's mic, she gonna just come out and say Diddy violated her. And the next thing you know, we're gonna see a lawsuit from her. Julius, your thoughts?
Lord have mercy. I knew it was gonna be more that was gonna come out of the Diddy. Diddy did this, Diddy did that, Diddy did this, Diddy did that. So now the supposed party, that's where Cassie said she was knocked upside the head, right? Her and Diddy was fighting. The famous Prince party.
Mm-hmm.
And she mentions the same party. Now, I don't know if she was reading stuff like from the court documents or Cassie lawsuit, but oh girl, you starting to sound suspect to me. Miss me with your foolery. Yes, that's it.
Thank you. So I'm going to share screen again. So it was about 2 years ago. So that would mean the baby would need to be about 2 now, right? Let me just share this screen. So so back 2 years ago, I did this video where she was claiming that the Top Chef Kwame was her baby daddy, and she was pregnant, and he wanted a paternity.
Hi everyone, you reach Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. For all of you out there, hit that subscribe button.
Let me just get
about a whole lot of stuff. And I listened to it for you guys. I was actually going to play it for you guys. But I said, should I really subject them to this 2-hour live? I could just send them to her Instagram page if they really want to see the whole thing. But I listened to it once. I listened to it twice because I had to really pull out the gist of what was going on. And I'm telling you, out of that whole 2 hours, you know what the gist that is going on? Like I said, she mad that the baby daddy don't want her no more, won't acknowledge her, and don't care, unfortunately, nothing about her unborn seed. But see,
so 2 years ago, she was saying that chef, increased matters. Thank you. She was saying that chef, she was pregnant with his baby. He was calling saying he was pretty much saying he's not. He stopped talking to her, and she had moved from wherever she was to New York to be closer to him. So I don't even know if she had a baby, but if that was 2 years ago, I did that video. So that would mean the baby will have to be about 2. And then I did a video about 9 months ago where she claimed she was gifted to Diddy. Let me see. So, and like you said, Callie, she changed her story because she said when she was gifted to him, she took full responsibility. She said, that's what I was out there doing at the time. She said, that's what I was doing at the time. So now you thinking something is different. I think these people, what they also don't count on is, I think they don't count on people who, are really following what they're saying. I guess they think we're not going to remember what they said. She did a whole article 9 months ago. Hold on, I'm going to share again. I ain't going to have to subject y'all to it. Y'all can go back on my channel and get it and watch it. But so this was 9 months ago. Hold on 1 second. 9 months ago, gifted to Diddy. She said, I was gifted to Diddy. Corinne Steffens revealed shocking truth about Diddy was gifted to him in 2001, saying Irv Gotti and Ja Rule and whoever else. But she said that, and in that, if you go back to that video, she said out of her own mouth that I didn't have no problem with him. I wasn't forced to do what I did. That's what I was doing at the time. So now she want a whole different story out there. These people want money and they got to miss me with the nonsense. We catch your stories, girlfriend. I got 2 of them stories from her. One when she told us she was gifted, and another one when she was claiming she was having this man baby, and he swore 10 toes down that it was her baby. I don't know if she had a baby. Somebody Google for me and find out. So anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to the next story. And the next story is, when do people want to understand that you cannot leave the kids in the car? Let me see if this is it. Let's just see this real quick. The people are crazy.
Oh, you're hot.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
I am standing outside of the Dick's at Cumberland Mall, and there are 2 children in a car by themselves, small kids crying. The windows are cracked, but I don't think that's right. And we just came out of the Dick's, and I heard kids crying.
Give me one moment.
They're little children. It's a little boy and a little girl.
Approximately how old?
They look like they're maybe like they're locked in the car. The little boy. Hi, honey. It's okay. Hey, you're okay. You're okay. The little girl looks maybe about a year, and the little boy looks maybe about 2. Little kids in the car. They were crying pretty hard.
It's not running. Let's break it. Let's break it. Use a pad. It's not Yeah, I got it. You want me to break or you got it? Hey, kitties. Hey. Oh, 4 centuries in the car. Hey, buddy. It's okay. Hey. Yeah. It's okay, baby. It's okay. Oh, you're hot. It's okay. L4, they are. L4, they are. Yeah. It's okay.
He was kind of panting.
Yeah, we got somebody check him out. Go find some AC. It's okay, baby. It's okay, baby.
And that was at 12:24 they entered.
And that was approximately about 12:24 when they entered the mall.
7-4.
Okay. Yeah, they have him on camera getting out. He left the car at 12:24, so they've been in there the whole time.
12:24.
Yeah, and we got here probably at 1:03.
Takes.
A darn shame. Hold on one second. So police officers break into car with 2 sobbing children trapped in 117-degree heat outside the mall. The video showed. I showed you the video already. Dramatic body cam video shows cops smashing the window of a deadly hot car in Georgia to rescue 2 toddlers who were locked inside. The young children were trapped in a vehicle where temperatures reached 117 degrees for more than 40 minutes outside Cumberland Mall in Atlanta last month before a passerby called 911, according to Fox 5 Atlanta. That's him. The windows are cracked, but I don't think that's right. We just came out of Dick's and I hear kids crying, the woman told the dispatcher. Police smashed the car driver's side window and pulled the kids. Hold on one second. So I went and pulled the kids from the triple digit heat, according to police body cam footage. If it's okay, baby, and you're hot, an officer tells one of the tots during the heart-wrenching rescue. Jaquan Diston was arrested after he returned from inside the mall and was charged with 2 felony counts of child cruelty. His relationship to the children was not immediately clear. A big thank you to the concerned citizens who call 911. Your quick action is the reason these kids are safe today. Cobb County Police wrote on Facebook, you saw something and did something, and that made the difference. Dixon was booked into the Cobb County's jail on $10,000 bond and was released the next day, Fox 5 reported. Wayne, your thoughts?
Og said, oh my God, this is cruelty at the highest. To see them when they opened that door and the little child was in the seatbelt. I mean, couldn't even move within the car. That's a slow death. You know, the Bible says, I think it says something in the Bible about we entertain angels unaware or something like that. That was a godsend. Because that heat, it's amazing that they didn't drift off to sleep. And people would have walked by and would have never heard a word. They would have never known. And for them to endure that for 40 minutes, and if I heard them correctly, it was 117 degrees. It's unimaginable. It's unimaginable. That's it.
Thank you. Felicia, your thoughts?
You know, these are the crimes that I want people to be convicted for and really do time. That man didn't have anything in his hands. He didn't look like, oh my goodness, I didn't intend to be gone that long. He looked like those children had no value to him, and he was off doing something else that was far more important. I got a lot of gut feelings about this. I don't think he was their father. I think those children belonged to a woman he was seeing, and that was her car. And he told her, yeah, I'll take care of them. Because I found it interesting that they said it was $10,000 bond, and he made the bond the next day. Who came up with that money? Because he didn't look like he had any money. I'm just saying, on the surface, he didn't have no bags. He didn't have this. He didn't have that. He didn't leave the kids with any water. And the other child looked much younger. It didn't look. Was that child in a car seat? That didn't even.
The other one was, and the looks of it, both of them should have been in some type of seat. The one should have been in a booster seat. The other one was in a car seat. And he probably, Felicia, was coming to see the other woman while he had the other woman kids with her car.
God. To go get some money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we really need to check in with ourselves and ask ourselves, what are we doing and why are we believing these people who just tell us things? I understand loneliness. I understand fear. I understand maybe you're now parenting alone. I get all of that. But to these ends, you now risk your children. He was charged for sure with endangerment. And I don't know about this mother. I don't know. He may have these kids and he wasn't even supposed to have them. But they locked him up, and I'm glad that they did. I'm just sorry he got out the next day. I would have thought 10,000 was sufficient, but it wasn't. It should have been more like 100,000, so he could have stayed in. God have mercy on these children. There was a child who died today in a car. It keeps happening because we don't value children. We don't value the lives. It's more important that we're going into these establishments and that they're sitting in the car. It's very sad. Thank you, Diva.
Thank you. Callie, your thoughts?
Yeah, this is, I don't know what exactly was happening at this mall. They said he was in the Dick's. I don't know what he could have needed from Dick's where he could.
No, he wasn't in the Dick's.
Okay.
That called 911 came out of Dick's. He was in that mall.
Somewhere around. I'm just trying to understand he have needed where he couldn't just take them in with him. And he knew it was hot outside. It is summertime, not to mention they could get kidnapped. So I do agree. I don't think that this is his children. I'm wondering if we're dealing with somebody with like a substance issue that went to go score, because that's what it kind of sounds like to me. Because I don't think a person that is not up to something nefarious is going to purposely do this. Now, unfortunately, you know, I'm in California. We have a lot of desert out here. Every year we have people that, because they're overwhelmed, they forget and leave infants in the car and they pass away. It happens every year. And I was even at a Starbucks, I think last year, and I saw this girl. She was in a big old Range Rover. She left her baby in the car to go get coffee. And I didn't know what to do. And I was like, well, I'll give her a couple of minutes because it's not too hot. And if she doesn't come out, the police are always at that Starbucks. They're going to take this baby. And luckily, the girl that works at the Starbucks saw what she was doing, and she just went ahead and helped her first so she could come out and get the baby. Now, she could have just kept driving and went to a Starbucks with a drive-thru.
Hello.
I just don't know. I think people are very naive about the world. But my whole thing is this: it's summertime. You knew it was hot. So even if you didn't think they would be kidnapped, how could you possibly think they could stay in a hot car? This is why it's giving me substances.
The only reason why I'm leaning away from that, because if he did and he had it on him, or if he was high, the cops would have known that.
Maybe he walked in the direction of the car, saw the cops, and dumped it somewhere.
He was going 40-something minutes. I think another chick.
It's possible, but again, it's hot. I could see if it wasn't hot outside and you didn't plan on being gone that long, and you're just dumb and naive and don't think people kidnap kids.
Yeah.
But did they say it was like 90 degrees?
It was 100. You know how your car is warmer than outside? So it was 117 degrees inside the car, even though he had the windows cracked. So my car, there are some cars that will beep, or they're like the newer cars. I know that particular car wasn't, but I'm just saying, because you mentioned this woman that had the Range Rover. There are some cars that will beep to tell you to check the back before it gets out. My car has a slot for my phone to charge. And if I go to get out my car and the phone is still in there, it will alert me. The phone is still in the car. They always say when you have children, put your pocketbook, if you're a female, in the back seat, so that when you get out the car, because like you said, there are some people, I don't know how, but no judgment, that forget their kids. So they said if you put your purse in the back seat, and normally if you're getting out the car and you're a female, you're going to grab your purse, then the kid is going to be back there. It is very sad, the amount of children that this happens to. It's heart-wrenching. It's just heart-wrenching. And this guy, because they also said it in this article that they don't know his relationship to the kids, I'm willing to bet 10 toes down that those were not his kids.
I don't think they were either.
Yeah. So thank you, Kelly. Julius, your thoughts? Oh, yes. Wait, hold on, Julius, before you go. Yeah, Savannah said, new cars give you a message to check your back seat. Yeah. So, Julius, your thoughts?
So he mad at the mama, so he decided to take it out on the babies. If I'm collecting this correctly.
No, I don't know if that's it. I don't think that's it.
But it's like,
I think he went to the mall to do something.
But it's like, if you know you took your babies with you. Now, when I drive, even when I have my picking up my nephew from school, it's like a force of habit, and he's 7, okay? I always, even now, if I don't hear something in the back seat, I look back there. Now, he could be taking a nap from all the running around and, all of that, that first graders going into second grade that they do. But I say that, you have children with you. You hear their laughter. You hear their voices. And that's another thing. Men who just don't give a whatchamacallit. You a danger, sir. I was probably jumping the gun talking about he didn't care about the babies. I want to clarify that. You just don't care in general. You deserve a whooping. Your mommy need to come and whoop your tail. I said it.
The other day, you also got to be careful about what you say to people. The other day, so my background was pediatric nursing. So the other day I saw this father, I'm gonna say it's the father, and the boy looked like, I'm not the best with guessing the age, but the kid looked like about maybe 7, at most 8 range. And I was just watching, and the kid got in the front seat. I like to die. And I was going to mind my business, but I ended up saying something, and that man said some words to me. But it is what it is, and what it is, and he left with his kid in the front seat. But I'm just saying to myself, I don't know why people are crazy, is all I can say. And there's a reason why they say young kids should not be in the front seats, because if there is an accident and that airbag deploys, they're less likely to survive the airbag. Forget about maybe the accident. So I was just like, this is crazy. And so also, when you have a newborn, at least I know in Jersey, but I'm sure it got to be everywhere, they actually, when the nurse is discharging you, they actually have to go all the way to the car and make sure. Now, we're not responsible for your car seat being put in properly, but we have to make sure you do have a car seat. And in New Jersey, I don't know if it's everywhere, but in New Jersey, what was I going to say? You can go to the local police station, and they will make sure your car seat is installed in your car properly. Because if you ever try to increase matters, the answer is yes. If you try to ever had to put those car seats in your car, it ain't the easiest thing to do it properly, because the newborn the car seat has to face the seat and not the other way around. And there's guidelines. Again, I'm talking New Jersey, I know for sure. There's guidelines upon which you can turn that seat around. And so this is just a recommendation I have for couples. When you're married, somebody should always be in that back seat with the baby that's in the car seat. So in case anything happens, you're back there, you see it, right away. Listen, this is a sad story, but again, I'll say this, and I don't know all the details of this particular situation, but to the single moms out there, you got to keep your head up. And I'm sorry if who you chose decided that after they had procreated with you, they don't want you no more and they out. Well, mom, tag you're it. And when you're tagged as it, you got to be careful who you let in your life and your child's life and who you leave your children with. It is what it is. Suck it up, buttercup, for 18 years, but you owe it to that child that you pushed out of you to do right by them. And not have all of these people in and out their life and leaving them with whomever. He didn't even leave them with no bottle of water or nothing. To God be the glory, they're still alive. And thank God for those bystanders that stood by them kids, called 911, and made sure they were safe. Let me move forward. Okay, children have to be in a car seat to the age 8. It's a car seat and boots to the seat. Yeah, they give parameters, right? Like a certain amount of pounds, a certain height, so forth and so on. Yes, and you need to abide by them because they give that for reasons. My son was so mad at me because I said, "What? You cannot get in this front seat. Get in the back. Until you are of the proper size and age, should be up in this front seat." I was a stickler. Probably traumatized by me and my rules, but you know what? It is what it is. Let me roll into this last story because I'm about to be past my little 60 minutes I've been trying to do. This last story, you know, we always got these plane situations where the people just be wilding out. Let's take a look.
Shut your mouth. Wait for the people in front of me to get up. Oh my God, you're all whining for no reason. Let the people go. Wow. I hold get up the way you want to. Okay. You're just a Karen, and that's just the way it is. Accent. Maybe get the vocabulary right. When we get off this plane, I'll meet you out there with my bar card. After that video goes viral, you'll lose that too. Sure.
Ooh, child. But wait, let me hold on. Let me share screen. So nasty fight breaks out on a plane as lawyer tries to skip line and deboard first. Just deal with it, she said. So much for the friendly skies. A nasty argument broke out among a crowd of airplane passengers when a lawyer tried to skip the aisle line and exit first, infuriating folks seated in front of her. Viral video shows. The attorney, who was not identified in the footage, is first seen snapping at a flyer who had just scolded her for failing to follow proper deboarding etiquette. You all whining for no reason, she is heard firing back. Just get up when you want to. Just deal with it, people. My God. Wait for the people in front of you to get off. That's how we do it. A man wearing a baseball cap told her. Shut your mouth, she retorted. As tensions mounted, a baby could be heard screaming while a second passenger chanted, Karen, Karen, a reference to how he believes she's smug and entitled. You're being the real Karens because you're making noise about it, she snapped. Travelers objected to the pushy out louse style move, a term coined by Reddit users to describe obnoxious passengers who stand immediately after a plane lands. After telling the passenger to shut the F up, the lawyer then lashed out at another man who criticized her swearing, according to the footage, which has raked in nearly 15,000 likes by Wednesday. I'm giving your accent. I could tell you said the F-bomb, she says, of the passenger's sudden dialect, irking a woman seated nearby. You can be a jerk, but you're not going to insult someone because of an accent. We're not doing that, the flyer said. You're clearly racist, a man off camera is heard telling the lawyer, to which the attorney points out that everyone involved is white, and that's actually xenophobic to insult someone's accents, not racist. Some observers of the airplane meltdown said the lawyer took rudeness to new heights. Oh my Lord, she's got an ugly personality, one person wrote. It's common courtesy that the row in front gets out first, said a second observer, while another called it my biggest pet peeve. Others jumped to the lawyer's defense, saying when it comes to arguing, the world is clearly her courtroom. I'm kind of enjoyed her. She has something for everything that was thrown at her, another person wrote. It wasn't immediately clear when the footage was shot or which airline the argument occurred. I'm surprised the stewardess or the flight attendants didn't come out and try to resolve this thing. Felicia, your thoughts?
You know, I don't know what's going on in these aircraft. If you don't want someone to get up and get ahead of you, there's two things you can do. First of all, she doesn't look like she actually made it to the front of the aircraft. So she must have waited till it came to a full stop. I've seen people get up when the plane is taxiing to the gate and then running down the aisle. And I say, let them go. So if something happens and they harm themselves, they do. I never, ever want to get into a disagreement when we're deboarding. It's just, I just came back from a great vacation. I'm not going to get into a fisticuff fight with anybody. But if I'm thinking I might get caught up in customs, I don't wait till everybody gets off. So what I will do is ask someone to get my bag, my carry-on from above, and I just put it in the aisle. And then when it's my turn to get up, me and the carry-on roll down the aisle together. I don't understand why people want to fight with people unless we've had this conversation so many times. These flight attendants keep serving drinks to these people. They keep drinking. They drink some more. They drink into oblivion. And then they become very anxious and they become very rude to the people around them. I don't think anyone wants to be on an aircraft with somebody fighting and pushing and shoving. I just don't think so. But she handled the space. They were very kind to her. I remember you showed us a clip when that brown woman was going to hell off, and they sure enough called the people and had her handcuffed and taken away by the police. So they were good to her. Yeah, because if they wanted to, they would have sent somebody back there or somebody to meet her outside at the gate, when she would have stepped outside.
That's fact.
There's different rules. I'm done.
Thank you. Julius, your thoughts?
Now, how much barbecue to them dudes want? Okay, now on the word ain't. Okay. Now I once a couple of years ago got into a back and forth and I said the word ain't, and one person said, because they were so highly educated, that don't get me started on the word ain't. And so I want to give that beautiful lady credit who said, I use the word ain't, and I'm in a doctorate program, so eat fat. Now, back to the scheduled program at hand. Ooh, Miss Entitled is just a piece of work, but she didn't have to be a snotty pants. She can, go sit down somewhere and go have a calm down moment. I understand, honey, you may be jet lagged, but gee whiz, baby. You may be a lawyer, but it looks like you lack the deliberate educational ways of common sense and decency. And that's really what those people was telling her. But you know me, I tend to be a little petty with the shade, but yeah, I just couldn't pass up the opportunity. Toodles.
Thank you, Julius. Wayne, your thoughts?
Just because you can say something don't mean you should say something. This could have been, the guy didn't have to say anything. The lady would have just walked on. Obviously, she had enough time before people stood up that she was able to walk down the whole aisle of the plane, and in the front, and the people in the front would have been right there with her. It wouldn't have made any difference. What they want her to do? Stand in the aisle and wait till the aisle fill up? Now, some people do that, stand up and get stuff out the overhead, whatever. But look like she already had her stuff. Now, granted, she was just responding. One word led to another, back and forth, But it didn't affect any of them. Sometimes you get people that just gotta say something. They gotta put their nose in somebody else's business. That would have been perfectly fine with that woman up there. Boom, the door open. Everybody flows off the plane. It wouldn't have held up nothing. That's it.
Thank you. Callie, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. They kind of started this with this woman. And as far as like the accent thing, I mean, anybody from the South, they will tell you that there are people who just automatically assume that people that are Southern are dumb. So that was a dig, but it wasn't racism. It's more a stereotype. But yeah, I just kind of feel like they created that situation. Because I would have looked at her like, okay, if you're in a rush, go on.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all. I say this: there is plain etiquette, but to your Wayne and Callie, to your point, I see people do the wildest stuff when the plane lands, and that's why I just sit back and I'm like, go ahead. I'm also not one to do the overhead luggage, right? Because then the people getting crazy too with that overhead luggage thing. They be wilding the heck out. And the plane barely landed. And as soon, I'm telling you, they're itching. As soon as that they say you can unbuckle your seatbelt, they're jumping up, they're overhead, they're hitting people, luggage dropping here, there, and everywhere. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, people, just calm down. But so there is plane etiquette, but I felt like in that situation, it seemed to have gone on for a minute. And I'm thinking, where was the stewardess? Where was the people to say, okay, everybody, let's just calm down. We're all going to get off. It's going to be okay. But I'm gonna give a little popcorn shade while I'm eating my popcorn. Yeah. So just calm down. But again, there's a lot of things that happen on these planes that I just don't do. And I like the window seat because I almost feel like I'm in my own little cubby. I ain't got to get up when somebody needs to get out, so forth and so on. So, I got my own personal little plane etiquette also. Listen, guys, y'all know the routine. Y'all hit that like button. If you didn't hit it on the way in, hit it on the way out. You can continue to comment on this video. Listen, when it comes to the Diddy aftermath of this trial, we're going to see a lot because Tony Buzzy, he still got his chest puffed up. I guess he came back out in the open once the Jay-Z lawsuit against him was dropped. I guess he feel like he got his little mojo back because he's back in these streets and he's talking about the hotline that he initially opened to have people call in if they had a grievance with Diddy. He said it's still open and he's still getting calls to this day. Listen, man, be careful how you date in these streets. This Diddy situation changed things around. Be careful how you date in these streets. And you see that rock star, I tell you, everybody in Hollywood getting this in some way or another. Something is going on at that Tyler Perry Studios. And I think we just hit the tip of the iceberg. What's his name? Shannon Sharp? We still waiting to hear what's going to happen with that case. It's a lot of people out here doing Diddy-like behavior. And listen, people, please stop leaving the kids in the car. Listen, good night and goodbye, everybody. I appreciate y'all. Bye. Choo-choo.